Welcome to the 2012 football season. Our first interview for the season is none other than our star midfielder, James Allan. G'day James, how are you?
Good, thank you, Greg.
That's awesome. Now we know you've been away, as you seem to do every year for some reason, and I know what that reason is, but many might not. Away for a couple of months. What sort of nick did you come back in this year?
Yeah, probably was a couple of kilos overweight when I came back, but I've probably lost 6 since I've been back in the last month and a half, but that's nothing unusual, so it wasn't too much of a surprise.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen the fat roll off someone in all my life better than it does off you, mate, because to me it looked like it was two different people after a couple of weeks. And of course, you hit the track running, which you always do, and fitness has never been questioned. What about now? A few weeks back, a week after Christmas, how's the fitness and form at the moment?
Yeah, so far so good. I'm feeling, for this time of year, been injury free since I got back, and fitness is feeling really good and probably as light as I've been, but getting stronger at the same time as well, so pretty confident with where I'm at the moment.
And I've heard a rumour that you've actually been in the gym a fair bit. Now, you can confirm or deny it, but is that true?
It is true. We've got a new weights coach on board who's been good for all the boys, so yeah, a few of us older blokes who stayed away a fair bit are getting in there as much as the young blokes, but they're taking their shirts off, we're still keeping them on, so there's still that little gap there, but we're trying our best to keep up with them.
Sounds good, mate, sounds good. Now, the question that people often don't get to ask you, that we have the privilege of asking you, winning the Magarey medal last year, 2011, unexpected, totally expected. I personally thought you had a terrific year, certainly an outstanding one from my point of view. What about you?
Yeah, I think probably from a personal point of view, form-wise it was my best season, but I missed a few games in the middle there and didn't really, as far as the Magarey medal, not something I thought about too much going into it, and then when you get to the night you don't sort of know what's going to happen, but it all went alright. But at the end of the year, when I sat down and sort of reflected on my year, I was reasonably happy with how I went. Well,
the people that I've spoken to have said that it's one of your best seasons, if not your best season. I think what's absolutely outstanding was that you've missed a couple of games. I think you've played a couple of halves as well during the season. So effectively, you've 4 or 5 games there. You probably wouldn't have been in contention for a vote and still ended up winning, which was just outstanding.
Yeah, I knew during that patch there I didn't get through a game for about, with buys and that sort of thing, 5 weeks, so yeah. I knew it was going to be pretty quiet times there on the night, but yeah, the other games sort of took care of themselves, and yeah, it all turned out okay.
Well, I think you probably won't realise how good your achievements have been so far. I mean, you've been here 5 years, 5 best and fairest, 3 Magarey medals, until you're probably not playing, in all honesty. I think that's when you'll sit back and have a look, because it is about the team. And one of the things I wanted to ask you was, you've been here for those 5 years, you've had 3 coaches, Andrew Jarman, Daniel Healy and Josh Franco, all different as far as I'm concerned. What are your comments on it?
Yeah, you probably couldn't get 3 more different blokes. Jars was out there and you know, the entertainer and that sort of thing, but it was awesome for my footy, and the reason probably I came over here in the first place. Then Heels was also very personable bloke and a teacher. He was a very good teacher, and again had a big influence on my career. And now Josh has come in, and especially from his midfield point of view, similar position to what I play, made us all think about things we hadn't done, and he's been fantastic as well. And he's got that real hard edge that he's bringing to the table with the weights and the physical stuff, which maybe we haven't focused as much on in the past, but I think will hold us in good stead for the seasons ahead. Yeah.
No, I agree. I've witnessed all 3 coaches are all terrific, obviously not as close as you. The 2012 list, again, we've seen a number of players depart from the club, of no fault of the club, of course. The Kane Acklins, unfortunately Andrew McIntyre with his work being unable to train, that's a bit disappointing. And a few other young fellas have decided to take up cricket or the amateur league or whatever they want to do. We've also had some incomers. How do you rate some of those players?
Yeah, our list has changed a bit as it does every year, but I think we've kept the majority of the group together. We've lost Gilly, who had a fantastic year last year, but at the same time we've brought in Karen Hall, and also Daniel Curry's come in. So we've got some big blokes that have come in that might be able to fill key positions, which means maybe Clint Alloway might go forward again, and it's probably not a bad swap getting Alloway for Gill anyway. So I think we've covered the spots that we needed to and kept the rest of the list together. So I think we're going to be very competitive, as we were last year, even though our ladder position didn't really reflect that looking back.
If we changed one thing in 2012 from 2011 on the field to have more success, what do you think that might be?
Change something on the field. Well, maybe we could kick more goals and points, it'd be all right. But,
Good answer.
I think looking back, we probably don't have to change too much. We sort of set the game plan in motion last year, and we were close in a lot of games and very unlucky in a lot of games, but took it up to the best sides. So I don't think we have to change too much. It's more just about continuing that improvement and getting better at what we've set out to do.
Yeah, I think that we've had to bolster the back line, and obviously Gilly going hurts us, but another player gets an opportunity. And also I think we need some more support for your good self, in all honesty. And look, we look forward to Luke Davey, and of course James Bennett having another season in the midfield, building on last year. Cohen Teely's now running through there. Tim Delvins. Look, you never know. There's a fella that's come and played a 30-year-old for us that might lob in there too. Young Josh Coulter. How's he looking?
Yeah, he's looking fit at the moment, Coulter, and he's raring to go. So he's had a few years away from it. So a lot of new people here. So he's keen to impress again. I think that's what happens each year when you get new people into the club. You've got something to prove all the time. So he's looking really good, and I'm pretty sure he's as keen as the rest of us to get into games.
Yeah, absolutely, and the young fellas do like him. They think he's terrific the way he includes everyone, and so do the new players. So good luck to Josh this year. Now, in closing, mate.
Yep.
2012. Obviously, the team goals are to win as many games as we can, and I'm pretty sure that we'll do that. For you personally, the rumour is that we only have to make the 5 for you to have a real chance at another one at the end of the year. Now, I know we don't talk about the personal achievements of James Allan. I think that's a real possibility.
As you said, I haven't thought about it too much at all. If we make the 5, I'll be a lot happier than winning that and not making it. So we all play finals, and each year when you watch other sides in finals, I think it does burn in your guts a little bit. So I thought last year if we could have snuck in, we would have probably snatched at least one game in there. So we give ourselves a chance. I'm pretty excited about the year ahead.
I think one thing that the supporters may not know, there's actually been I kept tally of them last year, of course, with the champion data statistics, and that is that you've also not only won the best and fairest, but you've also won our most contested balls, our most inside 50s, and a number of other hardball get type stats. So I guess that capped off the year for you, and I know that may have been the case in previous years, but certainly I thought you dominated those defensive stats, which was terrific. So, and I know I'm saying that because I know you don't play for all the accolades, and you're as big a team player as I've ever seen, and obviously from all of us at the club, we wish you the absolute very best.